Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again thank you for stopping by. So it's the next instalment of my speedrun car motor comparisons videos. So this was last out with the Tamiya Superstock RZ motor, and it didn't quite perform as well as the previous one, which was the Superstock BZ motor, and I put that down to the conditions. The BZ ran in +5, whereas when we were out with the RZ it was -7. There was like half a mile an hour difference on 2S and 2 miles an hour difference on 3S, so it wasn't huge. But anyway, this is the next instalment, so we're done with the brush motors and it's time to go with the Tamiya Brushless setup. So that uses the TBLEO2S speed controller with the fan unit, and this is a 10.5. So this is the hottest brushless motor they do that this speedo will run. Tamiya do trans-speed motors that go below 10.5, but then you need a much better electronic speed controller. I've also got the sensor lead for it. So in this video we'll rip the RZ out, the old speedo, and we'll get this stuff fitted and set up, and then we'll get it out for the run. Again, we'll see how it runs just on this brushless system first of all, because although this is a speed car, this is still an RC car right now. The gearing's not completely out there for speed, so you can rip this around no problem. So I'll be interested to see how it runs on the brushless. Now I have to say from the start, I don't expect an increase in top speed, if at all, if I'm honest with this. I think a lot of people who are new to brushless and what have you automatically think you stick brushless in and it's way quicker than brush motors. But this is just my take on it, and obviously at the end of the video we'll see. But that RZ motor, under no load, they rate it about 27,500 RPM. Now remember, that's on 7.2 volt as well, not 2S. The specs, depending where you read, I reckon that motor kicks out about 23,500 RPM under load. This is 10.5 brushless, so this is a 3370 kV motor. So 3370 times 7.4, which is a Lipo, gives you just short of 25,000 RPM for this motor. So it's a real tiny increase, to be honest. Now, one of the variables that is unknown, these brush motors might not be getting to full RPM because of the gearing. Now putting this motor in will tell us that, because obviously these go straight to full RPM. So if this is a big increase in top speed, we'll know that these motors haven't been getting to where they could go because of the gearing. So it's worth doing it just for that. Now I have got a couple of tricks up my sleeve, and whether this actually happens or not, I don't know. We will run this on standard setup on 2S, and depending on what that is, if it's quicker, then what I might do, this has adjustable timing on it, so I might crank it up after the first 2S run. I might crank it up, which should give me a bit more RPM, see if we can wring its neck a little bit for some extra, and we'll see how that goes. I'll also charge a 3S battery, which I know I shouldn't. I have run TBLO2s on 3S before, but with a lot lower wind sort of brush motors. It could go pop, but I'll charge it for the run anyway. But it all depends what it does on the standard run. So enough talking. Let's what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fit this radio gear and this brushless setup in and set it up. But if you want to skip that, just fast forward to the actual GPS runs. So just before I take the old setup out, I'm just looking, the TBLEO2 has a much larger footprint. I hope we're going to be able to get that in there. That's going to be very tight. Anyway, let's whiz the motor and speedo out and see what we're left with space wise. Right, that's a real tight fit. So the speedo, let's take this motor out. So the speedo does fit. Now that's not even held in with tape, and it's absolutely solid. It's got plastic cutouts in the chassis, and it's really wedged up side to side with that. But as I say, I'll stick some, it'll only need a little bit of sticky tape and that'll be good to go. The motor isn't really an issue, apart from the side protection bar that goes on the chassis. That won't fit because of the brushless wires, but again, that's really no biggie for me, so I've just taken that off. So what I'll do now is we'll get the motor mounted in first, get the meshing set correctly, and then let's whiz this out. Oh god, it's tight. And then once we've got the motor in position, we'll clean this tray up and we'll stick that speedo down. So motor's in, everything's fixed down, pinions on, gear meshing's aligned. Feels pretty good. It's got a completely different noise, the brushless motor. So as I say now, we'll clean this tray up and then we'll get that speedo in position. Right, so I've got it all wired up as it should be. Now remember that we added the extra fan unit to this speedo, so we had an extra cable that goes to the battery side of the receiver to power that fan. If I switch the transmitter on and the speedo, so fan's working. But yeah, we've got, so I believe, let's just turn this off, I believe these are actually set up for brush motors. So I'm going to dig out the speedo instructions and let's see what the setup process is for brushless. Well, that was a lot of messing around. Finally got it set up. So if I switch transmitter on, switch on, you get a couple of clicks. I'll just lift it up so it doesn't vibrate as much. So we've got full forward now. We've got forward and brake. I've not set reverse and I probably won't bother just yet. So anyway, that's done. I had a little play with the timing. There's two bolts. There's two little bolts, Allen key heads that you just slacken off, and then the timing marks are there. So I'm going to set it back to factory settings, which is 2. I just wanted to see if I could hear a difference in RPM, which I really couldn't, but it's so easy to do while it's in the car. So I'll set it back to the centre point, which is the factory settings, and then we'll do a GPS run at that. And then after that run, we'll turn it up and just see if it makes a difference. So that's pretty much it. So let's get the wiring tidied up. Right, it's ready, and I know that looks atrocious. I get it. But I just had to be so careful and nothing got near the belts, so I went crazy on tie wraps, but that's all solid. Obviously the battery's held in with when it's connected, and the body's there, so that holds that away from the belt. Managed to get the switch back into position down there, just taped, gel tape to the servo, and importantly I can still move these wires around. Like move that orange slightly out of the way to get to that Allen key. I mean, these pull out as well, so when we do come to have a little play with that timing, that's going to be quite straightforward. Wow, anyway, it's done, it's set up, so let's get it out and let's get some power through it and see what it can do. Right guys, we're out. So as I say, no idea how this is going to be. Obviously it's brushless, so it's going to be a bit more difficult getting the power down. Sorry for the noise if you can't hear. Anyway, the grip's not too bad. It's about +1 today. Just try brake because we've got no reverse. Quite liking it. It's nice and responsive. Right, let's just bring it in, check the GPS is working, which it is. Right, so no reverse. So let's try some speed runs. We'll take it up top first. Oops. Whoa, slowing this down is a nightmare. Right, let's try one more. Right, let's bring that back. Let's see what we got. So we got 62 kilometers an hour, which is, that's a slight increase. Right guys, so we've got a bit of an increase. We've got 3 kilometers an hour more on standard 2S. So now I'm going to just up the timing to the maximum because I just want to see if it does make a difference. Right guys, so we've turned the timing up. Again, no idea if it's going to make a difference. So 62 kilometers an hour to beat. Difficult to say. Oh, one more run, take it to the top. Right, let's bring that back, see what we got. Oh, we got an increase, 65 kilometers. Let me just whiz this body off so you can see. That's encouraging. So we've got 65 kilometers an hour on 2S. So now I'm going to put the 3S battery, sorry, I'm just turning off. Now we'll put the 3S in and see what it does. Could go pop. Right guys, 3S time. Could go pop this, could blow the speedo. So let me just double check before we set off. The fastest we've been on 3S is 79 kilometers an hour, which was 49 miles per hour. So we're going to beat that if we can keep it in a straight line. But I think getting the power down on this might be a little bit tricky. But here we go. Wow. Right guys, had to go retrieve it, we crashed. Just try to clean tyres off a bit. Oh, I'm out of breath. Stopping this thing's a nightmare. Oh, not again. Right, second crash, guys. Oh God, right, last run. I'm going to take it to the top and try not brake as hard. You've got to be very careful with this. You know what 3S is like. All this to get an extra couple of kilometres an hour. Take it as far as I can. Oh, we saved it! Whoa! Right guys, let's see if we beat 79 kilometers an hour for all that messing. Oh, we did! We did! 84 kilometers an hour. Today's been a success. Let's have a look. So, 84 kilometers an hour. Right guys, that's 52.1 miles an hour on 3S. Let's get it home and let's do a summary. Well, I've got to be happy with that. When I did the maths about what kV this motor was against the brushed motors and their RPM under no load or under load, I was thinking we're going to be lucky if we see any difference at all, and I actually thought it could go the other way and be slightly slower. But that was great. I'm really chuffed I did put that motor in and I didn't jump to a bigger kV brushless motor. So quick recap on a couple of interesting points. So first of all, obviously as soon as you go brushless from brushed, you get the power down instantly. Now, more of the grip, the Tamiya, that was +1 today temperatures, but it was dry. It wasn't too bad. You can't just fire that trigger because the car won't go anywhere. You've got to feed it in gently. I'm definitely going to need a longer road for the next upgrade to this, because obviously there's a big difference on the sort of engine braking from brushless to brushed. Using the BZs and the RZs, you take your finger off the trigger. Although it's still freewheeled a long way and quick, you know, at least you had the magnet slowing it down, whereas brushless, you just don't have hardly any. So you come off the power and it's still travelling. So that's an issue. But just a quick recap then on the speeds. So on the first standard settings on the 2S, we achieved 62 kilometers an hour, which was a a jump up of 3 kilometers an hour from the fastest we've been with Brush, which happened to be the BZ, and that equated to 38.5 miles an hour. Now this is what I'm super stoked about, because when I did turn the timing up, we got an increase. Now I've watched other people's videos and they've done this and they haven't had any increase whatsoever. So I was always a little bit wary of it, but we turned it up to full and we got 65 kilometers an hour. So we got an extra 3 kilometers an hour from doing that. And that took us to 40.3 miles an hour on 2S. A 40 mile an hour car on 2S, that's quick. 3S, obviously we left the timing turned up and we hit 84 kilometers an hour, which equates to 52.2 miles an hour. So next outing is going to be the fastest I've ever been, because if you haven't checked the speed videos we did, we were using the Tamiya Top Force, using the speed gear set. We started at, a bit like this series, started at the bottom and worked up, and we actually ran it with this 4370 kV on, I think it was a 66 tooth spur on 25 tooth pinion, and on 3S we hit 54 miles an hour. As I say, we're already at 52.2 with a 33,070 kV. This is 43,070. I think I got that right. So we're going to see a massive increase in the next video. Just to give you a quick example of that, 3370 kV is producing around about 25,000 RPM. This 4370 kV is knocking out 32,000. It's going to be a big jump. I mean, I'm not talking incredible. It's probably going to be, I'm guessing it's going to be around about 7-8 miles an hour different on 2S, and slightly, maybe a slight bit more on 3S. But again, we won't know until we try it. But as I say, as it stands right now, we're on 40.3 miles an hour 2S and 52.2 miles an hour 3S. Which is just incredible. So the next outing out is going to be the fastest I've ever been with an RC car, which is cool. So I like it when we get to the sort of the sharp end of these projects. Starting with the 540s and the sports tunes and all that, it was cool as hell, I loved it. But now we're getting, as I say, to the sharp end where the speeds are really ramping up. So we've got 2 more videos to make. The next one, as I say, will be this. Now this is a cheap combo with a 380 rotor, but nevertheless, you know, that's actually another thing. I've just done the maths of 4370 kV times 2S 7.4 volt equals 32,000 revs. I don't know if these 380 rotors actually get to that. That's interesting. Stick in the comments if you know if they do or if they don't, guys. As I say, that's why it's alright saying, anyway, we might jump up at 8 miles an hour, but we might get this in and only get an increase of like 4 miles an hour. You just don't know until you try these things. And then we have got the last video is a serious bad boy. That's the 5750 kV. Now, you do have a man, that's a proper 540 rotor and what have you. That's, the maths tell me on 2S that thing does 42,000 RPM. Holy shit, we're going to be jumping, even if that is getting to 32,000, the next motor up will be jumping 10,000 RPM. So God only knows what speeds we're going to be achieving if we find the road and we get the right conditions. So I'll shut up. That was a success. Tamiya Brushless setup, 10.5 motor using the TBL02 standard speedo with the fan fitted. In this particular car, over 40 miles an hour 2S, over 50 miles an hour 3S. Happy days, guys. So once again, guys, thanks so much for watching. It's really appreciated. If you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to support us, and if you do that, smash that notification bell for our weekly videos. And as always, guys, happy RCing.